I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't hear. That my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear the thoughts build up until I can't hear. That my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Thanks to a neighbor in East Austin's Ring doorbell system, the exact moment at 9:15 p.m. on May 11th was captured when 25-year-old Mo Wilson tragically lost her life. It's very hard to listen to this without it really pulling at one's heartstrings. Closing your eyes, it's not hard to imagine the horrific scene. Mo seeing her killer face to face, it had to have been a absolutely terrifying scene. Seeing the gun in the killer's hand pointed at her face, and then it sounds like she's screaming, "No, no," when abruptly her voice is cut off by a shot, then a second shot. And the first two shots sort of follow one another quite quickly. And then there's a pause. And I think that pause is when Mo fell to the floor on her back. Her killer stood over her and fired a third shot through her heart. Now, what the timing of the shots conveys that words don't really do justice to is the determination of her killer. It's also vital information, thanks to this footage, that we know exactly when this happened, 9:15 p.m. And that is something that can often be sketchy in true crime. If there's a little bit of a window, if there's a little bit of uncertainty, that can allow the defense potential wiggle room. Well, not this time. And so one of the crucial questions to ask is, where was Caitlin Armstrong at exactly 9:15 p.m.? Can she account for her movements? Before we get to the rest of this episode, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Bear in mind, I will be attending the trial briefly sometime in November. So if you're interested in my coverage of the case and you're interested in this case, you probably do want to subscribe. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, share, leave a comment. You can also hit the thanks button, and let's get started. I must say, I'm not sure if enjoy is the right word. This is very, very unusually graphic sound. And it's not something that we deal with very often. Often there's footage that is faked in this area, and this is actually rare footage where you actually do hear poor Mo's last moments. And but I do think that it has value and it is meaningful in terms of the prosecution of this case, because it gives us the time of it. It also, through those shots, one gets a sense of the mercilessness of her killer. And I do think the time, getting that exact time that Mo lost her life, is actually quite vital. You know, we want to know at what point Colin left Mo in Caitlin Cash's apartment. That's Caitlin with a C. Exactly when that was, and then at what point did somebody else enter that apartment. And the other thing that is really interesting is we also know that the prosecution have said that what is likely, quote unquote, likely Caitlin Armstrong's DNA has been found on Mo Wilson's bicycle. Now, much depends on what exactly that word likely means. Is it 90%? Is it 95%? Is it 80%? In other words, how definitive a DNA match are they able to get from that sample? If it's a definitive match, well, then how is Caitlin Armstrong going to explain, why her DNA is on that bicycle? So one lingering mystery that we still need to kind of figure out is, how did Mo Wilson's killer gain entry into Caitlin Cash's apartment? Did Mo not lock the door? Or did the killer follow Mo in? Did Mo expect Caitlin to return imminently, and that's why she didn't lock the door? The fact that did the killer follow Mo in, that seems unlikely, but what else could the explanation be? I do suspect that the DNA evidence and this doorbell footage, which nails down, as I say, the exact time of the incident, this evidence may possibly have wrong-footed Caitlin Armstrong and her defense, but we'll deal more with that in subsequent analysis. I don't know if you guys know Colin Strickland, who's part of this supposed triangle. He started his first phase of testimony on Friday, and he will resume on Monday, probably giving a lot more details that are less to do with the background of their relationship and more dealing with the events of that night in particular. What we'd like to know is the last time that he saw Caitlin, what was his impression? What did they say to one another? For example, on the night of the murder, what was her effect? Did she arrive home and immediately take a shower? According to ABC News, quote, during the interview with investigators, Strickland said that he learned that a vehicle matching the description of Armstrong's Jeep was spotted near Wilson's stairway the night she was killed. Armstrong was also questioned by police that day. And so one does wonder, what did they say to one another the day after? Like, after they'd both been questioned by the police? What conversation did they have? The next day, he said he planned to get a new phone because his was in police custody and meet with an attorney. He said, and this is quite interesting, he drove to a property in Lockhart, south of Austin, where Armstrong had left him a note saying she attempted to drive Strickland's mother's car but stopped due to the smell of gas. Now, it's quite interesting that she seemed to want to be using a different vehicle at that point. Also, that she leaves him a note which suggests that she knew that he was going to be there. After that day, he said he never saw the defendant again. Now, you would imagine that he would want to contact Caitlin after hearing about her Jeep possibly being at the scene. Ask her a question like, did you have anything to do with this? But this aspect isn't acknowledged in the article. Anyway, in a follow-up analysis, I do want to deal with why Caitlin went to New York. I've actually just flown into LA from LaGuardia, so I know that airport quite well now, rather than simply flying out to Costa Rica from Texas. Do you have any idea why she did things that way? Well, if you do, let me know in the comments. So I'm not going to take it further than that. I am trying to keep you guys appraised of this trial. We're already at trial day 3, I think, and Monday will be trial day 4. I will try to keep you guys appraised. I'm struggling a little bit with my health, but I will try and keep you guys up to date. As I mentioned earlier, I'm in Los Angeles, so this is TCRS signing off from Los Angeles, California. Until next time, take care.